Affliction. This is Star Trek Enterprise Season 4. Wait a minute, the Klingons have their ridges and all that. But wait a minute, Enterprise takes place before Captain Kirk. Now, in Captain Kirk's time, Klingons didn't have ridges and all this cool makeup. This show is a bunch of BS. I'm calling shenanigans on this season. How do you like that? How do you like that, Enterprise people? I'm calling shenanigans on it. What are you going to do about it? Well, we're going to make this episode explaining why a lot of Klingons don't have the ridged forehead. Now, it does explain it, but we never saw any Klingons with the ridged forehead in Kirk's time. I guess you could kind of make an excuse for it, but then we never saw any Klingons that didn't have the ridges in, like, Next Gen or Deep Space Nine or any of that. I'm going to applaud them for trying to figure out a way to work this in and kind of fix that problem. The fact that they're even addressing it is kind of neat, and I kind of got suckered into this episode. We're going to use my space system, so story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best. I'm going to give the storyline, I think I might give it I want to give it a 2 almost. I'll give it a 2. Yeah, man, sorry. I got to shill on this one again because I really got into it. The story here is that there's a disease in the Klingon Empire, or some Klingons have. There's a colony that's got it. And it's like a million Klingons or whatever it is. And they're losing their ridges because they're becoming somewhat human, but it's actually the augments. So there's augment DNA that they've tried to splice with Klingons and make Klingon augments just the way that Khan or Soong had his guys, but it was basically like Khan. So if Khan Noonien Singh is like an augment for us humans, they're trying to make an equivalent for Klingon. So that'd be a pretty strong and powerful person. You do lose the Klingon features because it does have part of the human DNA in it. It's pretty neat. Phlox is kidnapped in the beginning of the episode, and they're getting him to try to cure the thing, but also perfect the augments. So that's the storyline in this one. The Enterprise has to find him. The subplots are that Trip is now serving aboard the Columbia as chief engineer because of because of his feelings with T'Pol. We'll cover that in the characters section. But 2 out of 2 for the story. Really liked it. It's a multi-part one. So we'll talk about the rest of that in the next video. Pacing is 2 out of 2. I found this to be actually very exciting. When Phlox got kidnapped, you're like, what's going on? First, they start to investigate, and like, wow, what's happening? And then halfway through, all of a sudden, Reed starts acting weird, and you're like, what's going on with Reed? Oh shit, he's in Section 31. You thought you forgot about Section 31, and then it came back in. He's been forced to work for Section 31. It's pretty cool. So now you're like, oh man, what's going to happen? So a lot of tension in this one. I think it was done really well. The artistry, I'm going to give it a 2 because yet again, where everything looks awesome to me. I actually liked the way the Klingon augments looked. I know they're just kind of regular looking humans with just the makeup, but I think they did a good job of like trying to replicate them. So it's like they're kind of like the Kirk ones, but slightly different, a little bit, still a bit more like cooler, if you want to use that term. Everything looks great. Yeah, the makeup's good. You got some good ship stuff. Yeah, characters, I'm going to give it a 2 again because I loved all the characters here. So you got Trip now going on to the Columbia with Captain Hernandez, who I really like. I really like her a lot too. She's awesome. Typically in shows when stuff happens like this, they try to make the other captain an ass or a witch, or they make people idiots or something, and then you're like, oh, but no, they're in Starfleet. She's a great captain, so Trip is very privileged to work under her. Obviously, we want him back on Enterprise because he's the best character in the show, but also, we want him with T'Pol and back on the ship with his buddies. It's probably eventually gonna happen, right? But we gotta wait it out. He's going through some things. All that's great. Phlox is on fire in these couple episodes coming up, man. Just on fire. Great stuff with Phlox. I even like some of the stuff with Hoshi, man. In the beginning of this episode, she was doing some friggin' martial arts, man. They tried to attack her and she gave a few good hits and did a nice little spin kick and everything. All right, Hoshi, yeah, she's good. Enjoyment factor, G, I guess it's a 2 out of 2. So it's another 10 out of 10 because I am the Enterprise Shill. I'm changing my name. My channel name is going to be called Enterprise Shillin with J-Man. I don't know what to tell you, man. I like this one a lot. What am I going to tell you? I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because, yeah, I'm a Star Trek nerd. Sorry. It is what it is. If you like my space system, even though I just gave this a 10, wasn't very critical at all. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the playlist for Star Trek. I don't give them all 10 out of 10. And when I don't, I don't. And when I do, I do. So there you go. That's it. Until next time.